am going to be responding to Amber's latest video, or second to latest video. I think she has one after this, but no, actually I'm wrong. This is her latest video, update and weigh-in. So this was from today or yesterday? Yesterday, because I think she does these on Sunday, so it was yesterday. But before I do that, I had someone comment, which I kind of liked it because I feel like they were polite in the way that they said it, but it was basically them saying that I am not someone that they want to hear from. And I politely told them that that is why there are other reaction channels out there and that I'm not the only one, and that they are more than welcome to find someone else to watch and not me, and I am perfectly happy with that. But I just found that funny. Now, because of the content of the YouTubers that I respond to, mainly weight loss YouTubers, and my initial reason for choosing this was, number one, yes, a couple of them are controversial, so yes, people want to know what you think. But I also was watching them, so I felt it necessary. But also because I'm on a weight loss journey, or, you know, ish, I guess I can say, just doing my best. But I think the main reason that I decided to do these was because I am a bigger person. I do know what it's like. And I never want it to be construed that my opinions are about the fact that they're on a weight loss journey, whether it is one that is successful or not. Mine is more so about their attitudes and the way that they portray themselves, and the victimizing of themselves that they give, or the blaming of the viewers and the commenters onto why that their lives are the way that they are, or they're outright lying, or just yelling at people for calling them out on their BS. That's mainly why I like to respond to the people that I do, mainly her, Amber, and Chantal, because they both tend to do that. Now, I am not blind to the fact that people are going to say that I'm a hypocrite, because how can I talk about these women and also be a bigger person? But like I said, I'm not talking about them and the fact that they're bigger or that they are on a weight loss journey, because I admire that if it's an actual weight loss journey. Like I've said too, Amber has shown in her past, few videos that she has lost weight and that she is still losing weight. Whether I 100% agree with how she's doing it, it is working for her. And something that I learned too is I am a big fan of Obese to Beast. And he had said that the process when he first started was similar to what Amber is doing. And the fact that he still ate a lot of food, or foods that people would say are not good for losing weight, such as he had 2 sandwiches for lunch. But he said if you compare that to how he was eating prior, it was a lot better. And that was his gradual way of doing it. And so I get that when it comes to Amber. That's how she's doing it. And if it's truly how she's doing it, that's great. A lot of my commentary has mostly to do with her attitude on certain things, because she still, in my mind, acts a certain way that I just don't agree with. Like, not being more diligent about the freezer in their house, and knowing that all that food that they purchased, which is a lot of food, and that she still overconsumes in food, like she overbuys, and all that food went to waste that could have gone to someone else. That is where my issue lies. I also feel like she doesn't always take her health as seriously as she can, and it doesn't just mainly have to do with the fact that she is trying to lose weight or not, but there are other aspects of it that I feel she doesn't take seriously. So I do talk about that. But if anyone has an issue with the fact that I'm bigger and that I'm talking about bigger people, please don't watch me. I know I'm sounding a lot like Chantal there, but it's true. Like, okay, I get it. But I still feel like my opinions are valid. And I do hope that if you are watching this and you like what you see, that you will subscribe. And that you will comment and let me know, because I like reading your comments. Other than that, let's get started on this video. I do not have it sped up in any way. Usually with Amber, I don't need to. It's mostly Chantal and Jen that I do, because, well, Jen talks very slowly. And Chantal, she just drags on and on about a lot of nonsense anyway, so I usually just kind of speed her up for that reason.
Hey guys, so I figured I owe you an update. It's been hard trying to put on a face to film a video. I've actually tried filming this 2 other times, and in it I was just bawling my eyes out. I was crying, and it's just not what I want to show on my channel right now. I am a bundle of nerves. I've been having a lot of panic attacks lately. My depression is really bad, and it's painful because I have worked so hard to get out of that state of depression, and I was doing really good, and then this virus thing completely took me by surprise.
Now, I know a lot of people have an issue with the fact that, like, you know, her, mainly that they think that she tries to make it a lot about herself, which, I mean, if you think about it, we all think about how this virus is affecting us as individuals, but also we try to think about how it affects others, in the fact that we try not to complain about certain things, because I'm not going to complain about the fact that I have to stay home when I'm alive, and I have yet and prayed not to. I have not lost anyone that I know and love due to this virus, and I am thankful for that. So I try to keep that in mind when it comes to things I reference, you know, and so I think that a lot of people do get a little annoyed that sometimes her or Chantal will talk about certain things that you're like, you know, in perspective, is it really that bad? You have money. And I mean, Amber's still making money. She's still making videos, and we're still watching them. So she's still got an income. She isn't sick, nor is anyone else in the house sick with this virus, as we know, as far as we know. No one within their immediate family has been sick with this, as far as we know. So, and she has food in her home. And I'm pretty sure it's enough food to feed 4 people for a while, for at least a month, if done sparingly. So I think that's where a lot of people kind of draw the line as, yeah, we get it, you have your anxiety, and this isn't helping, but, you know, you also want to try to refrain from making it completely about yourself as far as the virus goes, and a lot of times it's more of just how things are said, whereas I think, even like when Chantal was telling her ghost story or something like that, I didn't watch it, but I watched a reaction to it, and they mentioned the fact that, like, when she was talking about people dying, it was like, oh, and then they died or whatever, you know, like, that's not how you talk about people dying. Like, people died, whether it's true or not. I don't know the story was true or not, whatever. That's the thing, and I think a lot of people have that issue with just how they say things a lot of the time, which I get, but...
And I know we are all going through this together. I hope everyone is safe, healthy, taking the precautions that they need to be taking. I am consistently and constantly looking at the numbers. I am watching news channels.
Which I also think you should stop doing, because that is probably the majority of the reason as to why your anxiety is as high as it is. I don't watch any of the news channels. I get little updates from my town telling me whether things are closed or not, or whether some new restriction has been implemented or not. Other than that, I don't watch it. I'm like, I know that if I watch it, I would then get anxiety, and I don't need that. And I think in her case, she needs to stop. You need to stop watching the news articles. You need to stop worrying about the numbers and just do what you can to keep yourself healthy and safe, which we already know what those precautions are.
Watching interviews with doctors and reading news articles about this, and it's taking over my mind, but I feel like knowledge is power, so it's kind of bittersweet.
Not in that case. It's not. What is that knowledge going to do for you? You're not a doctor. You're not the one trying to find the vaccine for this. So what good is it for you to watch all of this stuff and listen to all this stuff when so far there's not a lot of new things we're learning. If you're just watching the numbers of people that are dying or getting sick, how is that helping you? How is that knowledge helping you in any way? It's not. So in this case, no, that is not true.
Sweet, because the more I know, the more scared I get. But it's like, if I was in the dark, I feel like that would do me worse. And I think also something that is terrifying me is there are 2 cases at Ricky's work, and that is just 2 known cases. And he comes home and he takes the precautions he needs to take, and he takes those precautions at work, and his work is trying to take precautions. It's just, they still have to work. It's just, it scares me. I don't want the people around me to get it. I don't want me to get it. I know a lot of people right now with weak immune systems or certain health problems, including me. So it is scary. And, you know, social distancing or being locked into your state where you can't leave your state, because that's currently what we're dealing with, and having all these stores closed and only essential things open, you know, that's you doing your part, which is amazing. It's doing my part, but you're not in complete control, and I think that's what freaks me out the most, because you can get it from simply a box of cereal. I mean,
yeah, but I also think spreading that kind of fear doesn't help either. Like, yes, it's highly contagious. That is true. And we can only do so much. But I find solace in knowing that there are certain things I can't control, so I don't try to control them. It's one of the reasons I have always had a fear of flying. Because the thought of not being on solid ground and not having absolutely no control scares me. But then I think about it and I'm like, yeah, I don't have control. Maybe that in itself is good, because that means that there's nothing I can do. So all I can do is just live my life the way it is, or, you know, live my plane ride as it is, or whatever the situation is. And it's the same with this. I can only control how I react to it and what I'm doing, and that's all I can do. You know, so if I'm stressing about, well, what is John, Jane, and Jill doing, you know, to stay to be cautious, then I'm gonna stress myself out, because maybe 2 out of 3 are doing what they need to, but the other person's not. We can't control what they do. All we can hope is that their actions don't hurt others. But we just never know. It's just like when you're driving. I take precautions when I drive. You know, I try not to go crazy. I try not to cut people off. But I still get people who do that to me. And all I can do is hope that I don't get in an accident because of it, or that they don't hurt someone else. So
it stays on cardboard, which I'm pretty sure a box of cereal is cardboard. You know, it stays on cardboard for a little bit. Something as simple as, like, I'm doing Kroger pickup, and someone could have touched the box of cereal, you know, a couple hours prior, and then I touch it. And we're so accustomed to, like, touching our face. I catch myself touching my face quite a few times a day, because it's like, that's what you've done for your whole life. I'm 29 years old, and it's crazy how often I touch my face. It's just little things that we're having to adjust to, knowing that you can do your part as much as you can, but it's not 100%. Like, no one is bulletproof to this. No one is yet immune to this. And people could be walking around without symptoms, and they don't even know that they're passing it on to the people. Yeah. And I think that's why I've been having so much fear and anxiety, because I'm not ready to die. Because I know if I get it, I have a very, 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 very high chance of dying. And I don't want to cry in this video.
I mean, and she's right. You know, her health cannot be good. The way she has not taken care of herself, the lack of care that she's given to her health over the years, yeah, she probably would be more susceptible to dying. Honestly, I'm sure I'm in somewhat of the same boat in that regard. I mean, my health may not be as bad as hers, but it doesn't mean that it's not bad. And so if I were to catch it, there's no guarantee that I would survive. Like, I don't know that. Just because I don't have any immunodeficiencies as of now that I know doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, it's a scary thought. It really is.
I'm just not ready to go. There's so many things that I want to experience, and it's just scary. So with all of this going on, it just makes everything else just seem so small. It's like almost as if nothing else matters to me besides making sure that me and the people around me are okay. I have put myself, meaning, you know, trying to focus on weight loss on the back burner. I have put YouTube on the back burner. I have put everything, because everything else seems so small and just like it don't matter anymore. This has completely took me just in a really bad place, and I know everyone is dealing with it a lot differently. And it's just like, I didn't want to come on YouTube and like fake this happiness, because sometimes, you know, fake happiness hurts just as much. And I don't know what to do, because I don't want to come on here and be like this bundle of sadness. And it's just, I have a lot of worry right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you do too, and it's completely understandable. The main focus of this video was just to give that update and explain why I've been absent. And I also wanted to do a weigh-in. I really wanted to do one today, because not only is it Wednesday, and I promised, well, I didn't really promise, but I specified that I wanted to do weigh-in Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that always still irks me. She's like, well, I didn't really promise. That's still always like her way of saying, like, well, you know, if I don't do it, I don't do it. And it's like, okay, like, I get it. You're trying to give yourself an out. It's like, whatever, but it still drives me crazy that she does that. I don't know. So, and of course, her grammar drives me nuts. Like, you know, I was like, oh, I don't know if it's petty to kind of just bring that up, but it drives me so nuts. Like, ugh, like, took me instead of taking me, you know, come on, like, some of it's just common sense, I feel like. But it just reminds me of, like, a young kid, like, I don't know, 6 or 7, saying something, and then you're having to correct them. Oh no, this is how you actually say it. Well, it feels like no one fully corrected her on the way she speaks, and so she just constantly uses such bad grammar. Ugh. I actually had considered doing something where I would watch her videos and then correct her grammar for her. Which maybe I do have a channel that I kind of created for that, just for fun, but I never really did anything with it. But yeah, I don't know.
Wednesdays, and I didn't do one last Wednesday because, like I said, everything just seemed like it didn't matter anymore at all, and it almost still doesn't. But I need to kind of try my hardest to stop being in that mind frame, because I'm here, I'm well, I'm now. I do have really bad allergies that started a few days ago, and that's not fun. Okay, so what's been important to me before this whole virus started is especially doing monthly weigh-ins, because I really want to see per month.
It's funny, I think I was watching a, oh gosh, what was I watching? Like, a news channel? No. I don't remember. Something that wasn't just like a YouTuber on YouTube, but it was like someone who does commentary or something, and they actually used the word especially as well, and I was kind of caught off guard by that. I get that. I think a lot of people think that's how it's pronounced, even though it's not. And so I kind of found it funny that someone whose job it is, like literal job it is to speak in front of a camera, would use the word especially instead of especially. I don't know. That was just a small little thing, but when she said it, it's totally what it reminded me of.
Month, how much I lose, because to me that's exciting and fun to see. So with this whole thing going on, I honestly stopped looking at calories and looking at sodium, and I've literally just been eating whatever I've wanted. But I do want to say, I have not binged. I feel like that's something I am slowly, truly beating, and it feels really good. I know for the rest of my life it's going to be something I struggle with, but it's like, binging is always what really made me gain weight, because I would binge thousands and thousands and thousands of calories, and it was always at night after I've already ate a big quantity throughout the day. So by not binging, it definitely helps with whether I gain weight, lose weight, etc., etc. But my eating has been horrible. So I kind of wanted to share what I've been eating.
Yeah, and I gathered that that would happen. Like, I'm definitely not one to talk when it comes to this affecting how I've been eating. But I did kind of expect it. Because if you're going to have any kind of excuse as to quit your diet or quit trying to eat healthy, you know, this definitely is one of those excuses. So, like, I definitely expected that with her. I don't know if it's badly affected her. I remember what her weight was the last time she weighed in, so we'll see if she's gained or lost. But, yeah, I can only imagine. I would assume, considering as far as she has said that, like, she was still trying to eat well and counting her calories and not eating a lot, that if she's allowing herself even just to eat what she wants, I feel like she will have gained.
I want to be very transparent with that. I have been eating a lot of white rice. And so, honestly, I'll have one main meal a day. And it is, I don't even want to say it. Oh, I cook 4 servings of white rice. I'll have that in a bowl with soy sauce. And then I'll make 1 turkey burger. I don't use bread or anything. I eat it like a slab of meat, but honestly, it's so good. And that's what I'll have for my main meal.
Yeah, that's not good. 4 servings of rice? That's ridiculous. And those turkey burgers and all the little, like, you know, prepackaged stuff like that, that's not good for you. Like, mind you, I eat stuff like that too, but it's still, that's just crazy. I don't even eat rice very often. Like, maybe, gosh, once a month, if that. But yeah, that's a lot. Even just for one meal, if you're having 4 servings, I mean, I don't know how many calories or carbs or whatever's in rice, but.
And I've been doing that for like a week now. It's been easy. You know, it tastes good. I enjoy it. It is a lot of calories. It's about 1,000 calories. Maybe a little less. But I've been using that as my main meal. And then at night, I will have a bowl of cereal. I have been cereal obsessed. Mainly Cocoa Puffs have been my jam.
See, I can't even falter for that one because that's what gets me. That's what makes it hard for me too, like even where breakfast is concerned, because I would rather have a bowl of cereal. And there's actually these chocolate toast crunches. It's the cinnamon toast crunch, but chocolate. Oh my gosh, they're my new obsession. So I can totally understand it. It's hard. It is hard. All these just foods out there that are just full of sugar and fat, but they taste so dang good, you know. And you know, a lot of people don't like it when you try to compare food addiction to drug addiction and alcohol addiction, but those foods still hit that same receptor in your brain, the pleasure sensor, you know, and that pleasure center is what, you know, makes you want it more because you get that euphoria when you eat it. And so it is in that respect similar, but yeah, I get it. Ooh.
So I'll have a bowl of cereal. And then my last, to me, it's like a small little meal. It's just one little TV dinner. Because to me, a TV dinner, it does not fill me up. It's just kind of like something.
Yeah, but those things usually have a shit ton of sodium. Like 1,000 milligrams, at least. Those are very, very, very bad for you. Even the healthy ones are still fairly bad for you.
Something that tides me over, but that has been my eating. The white rice with the turkey burger and a bowl of cereal later, and then later just like a TV dinner. And when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's less than 2,000 calories. But while I'm eating it, I feel like I am eating 4,000 calories and whatever, because the rice and the turkey burger really does fill me up, but it's not that healthy, you know? I need to not have 4 servings of rice and maybe only have 2 if I have to have a ton. Rice is my weakness. And like have broccoli with it and, you know, okay, fine, have the cereal, but wake up and have it for breakfast and like have a fruit on the side, you know? There is ways to make it to where I can still eat these things, but also like have a healthy side and still continue with weight loss, you know, and stuff like that. So I didn't really want to do the whole, okay, let's do daily weigh-ins, because honestly, I did not weigh myself since the last time that I told you guys my weight, and then I weighed myself today. So it's been a hot minute. It's been, think it's been 2 weeks. So I was terrified to step on the scale. And even if I did do daily weigh-ins, I don't think I'm going to do the whole explaining my weight every day thing, because I don't think a lot of people enjoyed that. So I think that's something I can just do in my own time if I do decide to do daily weigh-ins again, which honestly I don't think I will. The last weigh-in I did on here, which was 2 weeks ago, I weighed in at 503.8. Okay, so remember that. So today I actually stepped on the scale, and I'll put that clip in right here.
Hello. It's ready.
Gained
505.4 pounds.
a little over a pound. I knew she'd gain. I mean, the way she made it sound, I'm not surprised.
£505.4.
So I was 505.4, which means I was only up 1.6.
See, I don't like when she says only. You shouldn't have gained at all. Like, I mean, really. I mean, okay, look, I've gained. I lost this week a little over 4 pounds, so that was good, but I get it. But it's the way you're saying it, I think, that really gets me, is only. I would be like, you know what, that was bad, I should not have gained that. Next week, I'm going to do better. When you start saying only, you start to then make it okay to keep gaining, and then you're going to go back to the same. You cannot do that. You've lost, 70 pounds so far? And you're this close to being in the 400s. You gotta get that back on track, definitely.
It shocked me, but it didn't. At first it did shock me, because I was like thinking I was going to gain all this weight, like a ton of weight, but then I had to sit there after I, looked at my last 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, what did I do? Da-da-da.
And I also feel like she has to be getting more than 2,000 calories in her diet, because even with the crappy food, she'd still be losing if she was only getting 2,000. For her to gain, she needs to get at least 3,000 to 4,000 calories. So I feel like she's off on her count.
I didn't binge. And if I would have binged, because I used to binge every night, you guys, that's how I got to be 572.4. If I would have binged majority of the days in the last 2 weeks, I would have easily gained 20 to 30 pounds, like in a heartbeat. So the fact that I'm able to control that urge a little bit better now, it feels good. And only getting 1.6, I'm very happy about that. Should I have been down in 2 weeks another maybe 12 pounds? Yes, I will not deny that at all. So I do want to talk about how much I have lost in the last few months since I started this. So on October 8th, I was 571.0. Whoa. But my highest was 572.4, which is only a 1.4 difference. So October to January 1st, I lost 30.2 pounds. In January, I lost 18.2. In February, I only lost 4.2. And then now in March. While I was editing this, I noticed I said the wrong number for March. But in March, I've lost 14.4 pounds. So all of that together is a loss of 67.0 pounds. And so I just wanted to talk about a few April goals. I'm going to keep it short, sweet, and simple. So the first thing is I don't want to binge. And if I do, in a month, let's have a minimum of 5 times. I'm not going to give myself 5 times, but I feel like if I do it more than 5 times, I'm going to be really upset with myself, and it's almost like I'm going to be backpedaling. But I want to be able to go through April and just be like, oh, I binged 3 times or 2 times or 0. That would be amazing. I also need to drink.
Definitely set your goal for a 0, and don't even give yourself that 5 times. Even in your head, say no times. Like, if you do it, then you do it. But just saying that, I feel subconsciously gives you the permission, I guess, to do it, and that's not good.
More water. I'm just not drinking that much liquid. It's weird. I do want to have less rice, less noodles, and less cereal. It's not that I think carbs make you gain weight. It's just like, choose where you want your carbs to come from and then decide how much of that you want. My 4 servings of rice can get lowered to 2, you know? So, and I also want to eat more veggies. So those are just some simple goals for April. I hope you guys had a good March. That's okay. No, none of us have had a good March. Let's be real. I'm just so used to saying I hope you had a good blah, 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 because I really do. And we're just at a crazy time right now that me talking about my weight loss just seems so stupid and irrelevant. Honestly, that's just how it feels to me, because there are bigger things happening right now than Amberlynn's weight loss journey. So anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed this update. I just don't really know what to film, I'm gonna be honest. So give me some ideas if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay, I'm going to pause it before it starts to try and reload, or to load up the next video in my queue. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised with the way she's talking, but I definitely think she's getting more calories in than she's thinking, because with 2,000 she should have lost. Definitely she should have lost. So I definitely don't see that as accurate, but it's okay. But yeah, I mean, hey, it happens, you know, as long as she doesn't take this as permission for her to continue to gain and to eat whatever she wants. And you know, because it's one of those things where it happens because we're human, but we can't let it define the rest of our week or our life. You know, one bad thing shouldn't define how the rest of our time is going to be. So hopefully next week is better. But until I do another reaction video, I will let you guys go. And I hope you enjoy this. Please comment, like I said, and please subscribe if you are watching this and enjoy it. I have 8 more videos in the queue to react to at this moment, and I also have 5 more that I've already recorded and just have to edit and upload. So yeah, I will see you guys in a bit.